Well, a graphic illustration. We've just looked at the circuit, haven't we? The 20-year-old Australian. We really cannot say any more, can we? What a performance in only taking a long, hard drink. I don't think you can blame him for that. Italian Loris Capirossi riding the Ducati, fresh from his success in a res 30.
Grid.
Yeah, it's a nice feeling as well, you know, to look behind and, you know, see all those names that I've been looking at for It should be good anyway.
All right, go and kick some, mate. All the best.
Thank you.
No worries. At least he's got a smile on.
Row of the grid in the Premier class for the very, very first time. He knows all about starting from the front row of the grid. Races for Nicky Hayden, and starting from the second row of the grid, 4 fastest, not too bad.
Got a pretty good spot here, nice and clean, so need a good start, and you know, it's wins through a wrench. Got.
All right, hopefully we can see improvement from what happened last week at the Rev 2.
Yeah, I sure hope so. Thanks.
All right, all the best for Nick. in again, Nick. I've got Colin Edwards here. Cole, how are you feeling with us after this morning with this wind? It must be really... It was only when you really started pushing qualifying that you dropped down a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it was good yesterday at race tires. We, you know,
some problems when we got here, but the team worked really hard, and Bridgestone gave me a great tyre for qualifying. So, you know, if I
Everything, or settle with what you know?
settle with what I know, pretty much. Bike's pretty much the same, so just got to go out there and give it 100%.
When they're starting, I'll think of the positives when I think of Johnny Hopkins too. John, you'll be after a good one as well.
Race.
So this wind has played into your hands a bit better.
Yeah, I think it's kind of equaled it out a little better. We ended up in a higher position.
I've just got the tyre choice actually for Bridgestone at the moment. Sete Gibernau and Loris Capirossi on the Ducatis have gone for
They've obviously got a few choices. They brought about 900 tyres with them this weekend and took the gamble and did
kids. You don't need me to talk about them. They've talked about themselves, John Hopkins and Chris Vermeulen. But very, very exciting MotoGP race. And I know we keep emphasising this, Mark, but
the rest of these MotoGP bikes. But if you've got the talent to be in a Grand Prix, you've got the talent to be riding any sort of sure the likes of Jorge Lorenzo and co are doing that, and they want to put in good performance this year to join.
For this second round of the MotoGP World Championship. What a front row it is.
And
Casey Stoner. .22 laps, circuit leg 5.38. For Sete Gibernau, the former World Superbike champion Colin Edwards and the Kawasaki of Shinya Nakano. Man, Juan Luis Cardoso riding that damn team, of course, Ducati. Riding
and the track temperature had dropped off a bit considering what the 250s were, so the wind
a bit earlier in the day. We ride with Tony Elias. He's got gastric enteritis at the moment. I would think that. Rode his way back through the pack quite brilliantly. We ride now with Nicky Hayden, just feeling out. And certainly not making life easy for anybody out there actually on the circuit. Back into the start. rightly on the front row of the grid, on the left side in pole. Alongside him, now, and we are racing. It looks like a tremendous start by Stoner. We wait to see as they race up.
Tyres already.
He certainly is. Great start by him. Good start also by Nicky.
From about mid-pack two, from what I could gather.
Oh no, it's Randy de Prunier out of the race. The Frenchman's had a terrible into third place. He doesn't want Stoner to get away at the front. Casey Stoner leads the Grand Prix of Qatar in the MotoGP class. They flash across the line. In second place, Nicky.
Rossi, so he's not letting him get away either. The current championship leader, even if it is after one round, Caparossi.
Flying Australian at the front with just 1.5 laps into the Grand Prix of Qatar. Hayden, Rossi. But Stoney, got to say, Marcus, made the perfect start.
Yeah, I've just come down to his pit now, looking at the board, and they're putting
And this is a tremendous battle between Rossi and Caparossi. Rossi just holds.
And on Rossi's board, they were saying Stone is 1.4 seconds in front, now being increased to 1.5, and then
although he got in some very, very good times, race times on his race tyres.
behind Rossi. Rossi 0.4 again in front, so he knows.
Two-tenths of a second, or you say actually when they get into turn one, it's probably just a little bit closer. Well, Stoner John Hopkins 8, Shinya Nakano in 9th place, and in 10th place Tony Elias. Five for the Doctor. Fastest race fastest race lap by Valentino Rossi. Kawasaki. Yeah, Nakano involved in a rare old battle there with Tony Elias. Valentino Rossi now is closing on Nicky Hayden. Elias, Pedrosa. There we go, confirmation. Stoner, medium front, medium rear. Hayden, medium front and medium. First race, and behind him Sete Gibino. Rossi, medium front, medium rear. but the Anglo-American is out of the race. It really has been a dreadful weekend for Suzuki.
Going to go down to the Suzuki picnic, but after seeing that demonstration, I don't think I have to.
No, I think we. Last up is Marco Melandri, who's currently lying in 7th place. So a long, long way to go yet. But and this is all to the advantage of Casey Stoner, who leads the way. But Rossi again on the brakes, dives.
Off just a tad while Hayden and Rossi start battling it. Caparossi and Gibernau manage to close up again. And
Rossi goes through, runs it wide. Hayden comes back through on the inside. Rossi now is absolutely He's got a bout of the flu. He only arrived here at 8 o'clock on Thursday morning. He seems to be able to just shrug that away.
turning into the stalker, he's closing it down, isn't he, Nick? Stoner will get the board very shortly. That
Time for that. But you cannot speak too highly of Stoner's performance at the front of the moment. They come into the start and finish straight. Moment for 9th and 10th place. It's Danny 8th and 9th place. Tony Elias and Danny Petrosa, his old sparring partners.
Still got the sign out for Rossi that Stoner's 0.3 in front, but I don't think he needs that. And Rossi might sit.
Really superb performance. I think he's got that absolutely right. But now this is the ultimate test for the Australian. In there in third place. You just got a glimpse there of the two Ducatis, Loris Capirossi and of course Sete Gibernau in. Front, the pressure is still on, but Casey Stoner keeping a cork on that pressure, and he still leads the way. But
Suzuki coming in at Chris Vermeulen.
oh, what a disastrous day for Suzuki. Chris Vermeulen out of the race with a leads the way from the world champion Valentino Rossi, the American Grand Prix winner. A superb race. This is going to go a long, long way.
Well,
First of all, it was an O level. Now it's an A level for Casey Stoner.
I just tried to get into this.
Knocks the front wheel of the Honda onto the rear wheel of the Yamaha. Oh, Casey Stoner, you're giving the doctor a hard.
Valentino Rossi, I've been looking at this kid for the last 10 years, and now I'm right up his proverbial.
Rossi. Nicky Hayden closing on Stoner as well. Is he going to try him on the brakes at turn 1? This is where Rossi took the lead a lap ago. No. But you do get the feeling that Hayden and the two Ducatis don't want Rossi to get away at the front. And Rossi says, I'm with 12 laps ago was 0.3 of a second. To be interesting to see. And Nicky Hayden really is desperate. Down towards the left-hander is turn 15. Then it'll be the right-hander that brings it back into the start. Enough? Is he strong enough to go through? Will Stoner come back in front of him? No, Hayden has run it wide though, and Stoner. Difficult for this established Grand Prix start. He's riding quite brilliantly, but Hayden and those two. The line was 0.4 of 1 second. Can Hayden close it up a little bit? Stoner still going very, very well.
Livio with a hard choice of tyres. They're hanging in there, and hopefully you can close down.
Mark trying to come around the outside there of Casey Stoner, but I think Caparossi now has made his intentions very clear. He ride of a lifetime in only his second MotoGP appearance, and you've got to say Stoner is still hanging in. Moves into third place past Casey Stoner. Capirossi up into third place, sitting after Nicky Hayden. Nine and a half laps to go. Well, a lot less than 9.5 because they're coming into the the inside on the brakes. And Melandri goes through. He could run it wide. He has. No, he hasn't. Ago at a res in Spain when he finished in second and really pushed Loris Capirossi pretty hard in the race. Rossi and Hayden, the gap was of about half a second, so that's going to be interesting to see as Pedrosa still chases after. Days, they're not old, are they? But in their 250cc days. Fourth, Casey Stoner now having to worry about Sete Gibernau behind him. Sete Gibernau in fifth place. Get away. Stoner, of course, started from pole position. And then the rear. Crucial part of the race. You can't really stress how crucial it is. 7.5 laps ago. The tyres are going off. We know into the start and finish straight. 7 laps to go when they cross the line. What will the gap be between the two of them? Slog it out, but it's Melandri holding on to 6th place and Petrosa down in 7th. Four Premier Class victories. He's under pressure this season, real pressure. He's at his Hayden, the Kentucky kid. In front of him, Valentino Rossi, braking and then the throttle. Hayden opens the throttle of the Honda. They're into the start and finish straight, up into 5th. Now Hayden is making a real fist of it. Hayden is not letting Rossi get away.
Nick, I've just got people. And at least Nicky's heading in the right direction. 3rd last week and sitting 2nd at the moment.
Yeah, the end of last year and the beginning of
Look out for certain other riders, and the other riders I'd say is Loris Capirossi, who just seems to be coming on a little bit strong. Let's look at well, they're having the time of their life out there, aren't they? They are enjoying this so much. Petrosa we ride with Danny Petrosa. That right knee just place, chipping out in 5th place. Pete Benson summed it up. It's all very well catching up Valentino
And Stoner has certainly got the top speed of 311 and 316 k's respectively over Rossi and
this time down the start and finish straight. The Yamaha team look on as Hayden got him on the brakes. He has, Nicky Hayden. Turn one, 4 laps to go. The Kentucky kid leads the Grand Prix of Qatar here at the Rossi chasing his 54th Premier Class victory, and Rossi has closed up.
Yamaha starts to feel the pinch of the, because it's such a front end track this, talking to the riders, there's so much weight on it, so much.
Is Rossi going to come out? Here comes Rossi on the brakes up the inside of Nicky Hayden, and Valentino Rossi retakes the now 5th, 3 to go, and Rossi's on the charge. You just get the feeling Rossi says, right, I am going to go. Keeps changing, they're changing, but constantly changing position. Absolutely superb race, as I say, between the former. Nicky Hayden comes under increasing pressure now from Loris Capirossi.
Fourth spot.
They're absolutely side by side, and I think he might take him back on the brakes up the inside. He doesn't do so. So Stoner relegated. So they're giving out. Will they be happy to pick up any sort of points at the moment? At the front, who's going to take the 20? Lead from Nicky Hayden. Perhaps the gap is just a little bit bigger than it should be for Nicky Hayden. Hayden's really got to go. In that opening Grand Prix of the season after being knocked out at turn 1. All sorts of problems here in Qatar. 0.343 miles to go. Danny Pedrosa and Marco Landry still slog it out. And I don't think is going to win this race, and you've got to say, at his best when everything's against him.
Well, he is.
Probably the greatest motorcycle racer we've ever seen. Will he go to Formula One next year? Will he go rally car racing? Class of Grand Prix motorcycle racing. That right knee goes out for the last time. He's into the start and finish. Stoner in only his second MotoGP ride finishes top of the rookie class.
Lucio must be very happy, leading nearly half the Grand Prix. This is going to be signed. He kept him at bay for a number of laps, then stuck with him for a number, and the tyres just gave up the ghost by the look of it.
Yeah.
parked his bike by the side of the track, and now he's just telling everybody how pleased he is. Doctor, but when the doctor's in this sort of mood, he is unbeatable, and you could see there, Mark. Nakano, 12 checker. James Ellison picking up his first points of the season in 13th place. Tamada, a very disappointing. Going to relinquish that crown without one hell of a fight. And again, just showing what a superb rider is going to be in MotoGP. But, well, guess who this is?
Casey Stoner here in the pit, he's just wiping his brow. Mate, tremendous effort, that leading you.
But then I just made a couple of mistakes, and you know, they let everybody just go a bit, and yeah, I basically just settled. Until basically, you know, it was 3/4 over the race, so I didn't know who was behind me, I didn't know how far they were behind me. And
folks, just when you thought it was going to get easier, he's back, and the celebrations are exuberant as they ever. Wins, and I think this one means as much to him as nearly any of them.
Well, he demonstrated that on the slowdown lap, didn't he? Get
every inch of a race. He's a delight to interview after a race. You just say, how did it go? You get the finishing in 8th place. Colin Edwards 9, Kenny Roberts 10, Shinya Nakano 11, Carlos Checker 12. World Championship points. Whoa, it's getting closer. Caparossi 41, Hayden 36, Pedrosa 30. A 3-week break to contemplate that World Championship lead before we arrive at Turkey.
Season for you after last year, like you said, bad race here last year, but go away with 16 points. Can't be too bad.
And he got there. Nicky Hayden relegated to 3rd place. And now Rossi sets after Stoner at the front.
Before we start the last lap and give Valentino a little gap, and he took it and ran with it. So. We'll be getting a win soon.
All right, mate, all the best.
All right, thank you.
So Nicky Hayden has to beat this man. No, you've done very well there, Mark. And good to talk to Casey Stoner as well, who, as we say, put in such a fine performance.
Because we had a lot of problems for us. The start of the season is not the best one. Was not the
Brady, what an important victory it was. Shakes hands with the Ducati mechanics, walks past Loris Caparossi and says, which way do about here this afternoon as well? Obviously not the sort of crowds we expected at Jerez in Spain, but Grand Prix motorcycle racing can
Maybe 4 compared to the start, but it had Casey Stone and then Valentino Rossi. Hayden gets up there and Valentino Rossi fights.
took each other 3 times before actually Rossi took over second place, didn't they? And I think they're going, whoa, 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 that was a bit special. And he's back in the World Championship hunt. If he would want to do that, I think he'll be very, very happy with his weekend work to retain that lead.
And he can take a lot of confidence out of that one.
The Emery of Qatar. Yamaha showed him this afternoon. Surely that second Grand Prix victory is not far away.